I had no idea. Actually, I had no idea. So it was really good. It was really good. Anyways, back to the live, and while I'm here, so yeah, I wanted to just do a regular Q&A tonight since we couldn't do webinar Wednesday, yesterday and then last week. I just wanted to do a regular Q&A. No questions off out of bounds. Like, you can ask me anything. Actually, I invite you to ask me anything about credit. And I just want to kind of do like a just a quick fiery questions. Just, ask me a question, and I just want to answer as many as I possibly can. And it could be anything off your profile. And by the way, I do see what you guys are saying. She's troubleshooting. Oh, thank you, by the way. Thank you. So yeah, all right. Yes, no, I was born and raised in St. Louis. Like, born and raised. No, I'm not from Virginia. I did live in Virginia for 7 years, but I'm born and raised in St. Louis. All right. So first question. So Demar said, I set up a payment arrangement with Capital One like a dummy. So can I dispute it, or should I just pay? I'm assuming they charge off your account, right? Like, you didn't say it, but I'm assuming they charge off your account and you set up a payment arrangement and you're wondering what is your next possible step. Well, so I mean, you have two options. Number one, settling a charge off is never a bad idea. Like, because whenever we settle charge offs, um, your credit profile does improve. Your borrowing power certainly improves, and a charged off account with a balance left over does affect your utilization. And it also affects your ability to borrow. So that's never a bad idea to settle with charge off under most circumstances, right? Like, the only time I would suggest not settling a charge off is if you're like 5 years into the charge off. Like, if it's been charged off for more than like 4 years, then at that point, it's usually almost better to let it age off. Allow it to age off. Make sure you're building active credit, so you have open accounts. You're reporting utilization every month, low utilization every month. You have other accounts that is showing um your behavior right now, right? Like, you have active credit, you're building active credit. However, if it's happened within the last 3 years, 3 to 4 years, then most of the times, no problem with settling. Now, with Capital One specifically, it's never a bad idea to settle with them specifically, because like, they will sue you. They probably have already sold the account to like LVNV or uh it's slipping my tongue, but another one of the debt buyers. So they are known for suing, and also they're known for their accurate records. So with Capital One, they're one of the companies that's like, you can dispute them, of course, if especially if they're factually reporting something in error, but they're usually really good with keeping their records. So challenging them is tedious. So, no, you did not make a mistake by doing it. And it's gonna make your profile better. It is. Is there a difference between settling and paying off in full? There is a difference in terms of like how it's stated on your profile. So it'll say account paid in full, account settled. Um, it'll say account settled. However, the it's the same in terms of what it does for your profile. Because the only thing that matters is whenever an account is charged off, you just want that balance to be zero. It can get to zero by way of settled. It can get to zero by way of paying it in full. Me personally, I always look to settle, because it's just like, it doesn't do like, you don't get extra points for paying it off in full. And there used to be like a myth, or I'll say a myth, or maybe like a rumor, where people thought like, paying it in full helped your borrowing, help, I guess, your borrowing terms, right? And I kid you not, I don't care how I have been in multiple home closings with others, myself included, in all of that. It has quite literally never made a difference ever. I've never seen it made a difference ever. So I do not agree with that. It's sort of like one of those kind of like old myths or beliefs that, I guess people believe. I have never seen it make a difference. All the years I have been doing this, it has never made a difference. All the lenders that I've spoken to, they don't care. Like they don't care. All they care about is the active debt that you do have. That's it. Meaning, like, if they have to worry about somebody uh garnishing you or infringing on your ability to repay them, that's all they care about. But if the account is zero, is zero. Like, oh well. I'm a real estate agent. We literally tell them to settle. It doesn't matter. LOL. Facts. Like, I agree. I agree. All right. When I have a charge off, I'm disputing. When I have a charge off, I'm disputing. What letter do I send first? When you have a charge off that you are disputing, you want to always start, regardless of what you're disputing, you want to generally always start with a pretty light dispute. You either can just add request an investigation of the account. Um, I would show you an example, but I actually don't feel like bringing anything up. But like, uh, just ask for an investigation. Hey, I printed out my credit report, or I received a copy of my credit report. There are some things on my credit report that I want to ensure is accurate. So please investigate the following accounts. And then you would just list the accounts that you want them to investigate. That first round, you don't typically expect deletions because they don't usually happen, even if it is reporting inaccurately. They usually will just give a default ruling, which is, hey, we verify this, all of that. They'll automatically verify. You sort of want to expect that. But yeah, that's how you will start off. And if we have time, I'll pull up a first round letter. All right. I wish I could pull these ones up on the screen. Oh, I can. Oh, can y'all see that? Cool. All right. So, Brandy said my BK will be discharged next month. Is there anything I should be doing with my credit? I've requested all three reports yesterday, and some of the accounts show that they were in bankruptcy, but not sure if there's anything that I can do. So, okay, great question. Whenever you file bankruptcy, all of the accounts that were included in your bankruptcy, you'll notice that they'll say included in bankruptcy within, like, usually like the remarks section of the account. That is by law, so they have to do that. However, you're asking what to do about those accounts, because obviously, when an account is included in bankruptcy, it's closed. That account closes, and it's typically seen to lenders as a bad account. Like, they fully count that account or view that account as a bad account, because it was charged off in bankruptcy. I don't know how long it's been since well, you said it's, oh, so it's recent. It's fairly recent, right? Is that what you're saying? Because whenever it gets discharged, the bankruptcy will still, of course, be on your credit report. I don't know if you plan on challenging the bankruptcy, or you're just saying like what to do next. So I'll answer both. Number one, regardless of if you plan to challenge it or not, what I would suggest is that you immediately start building as soon as possible. The second that is discharged, your eyes should be on rebuilding. And I would always suggest, like I suggest for anyone, is two credit cards and two installments, one being a short term and one being a long term installment. That's the basic profile, the base level profile. That'll just set you up to build the, efficiently and the fastest, right? Regardless of what else is on your credit report. Included in that, you want to also ensure that the two credit cards that you get, you want to make sure that you are reporting between 1 and 10% at the highest utilization every single month. That way, you're able to maximize the amount of points that you're getting for your credit utilization while you are working to either challenge the bankruptcy or just build credit. Like, your focus is on building credit, showing them that yes, you did file bankruptcy in the past. However, you've since learned how to navigate credit. You've since learned how to use a credit card. You fully understand credit, right? Like, that's your plight after bankruptcy. You want to show lenders that you can be trustworthy. They don't have to worry about you falling back into old habits, or you filing bankruptcy again, because that's ultimately what companies are usually scared of, right? When it comes to bankruptcy, they don't want to be the company that you're able to write off legally and not owe them back. So obviously, whenever you file bankruptcy, for a little while, you'll be considered like a red flag to lenders, because they don't want to, like, if you just filed bankruptcy, they don't know if you've learned. They don't want to lose out on money. So your biggest goal and objective is to prove, by way of your credit profile, that you fully understand what you're doing now. And the only way to do that is to, like, actively build credit, making sure that your credit report doesn't fall below 4 accounts. Making sure that you have at least two credit cards. They could be subprime cards. They could be secure cards. It doesn't matter. Like, you just need to make sure that your credit report does not fall below 4 accounts, and that you have two credit cards. uh, there are going to be a lot of companies that will deny you for a credit card right off the bat, which is why I would suggest that you uh, um, apply. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Apply for a subprime card. So a subprime card or a secure card. Like look at places like Credit One. Look at places like Open Sky. Look at places like Self. All of those companies are bad credit friendly, post bankruptcy friendly. The limits will be low, and that's okay. Like you actually want that in the beginning. You want to get like $200 credit cards. You don't need anything fancy right now. It's literally just you wanting to establish a new relationship with institutions, and that report to all three of your credit reports and show that you are actively learning, right? Like learning what to do with credit and what obviously not to do, how to not repeat the past. So that's going to be your entire objective, getting having four, at least four accounts, two of those accounts being credit cards, and then two being installments, one short term and one long term installment. For a short term installment, you can go to Self, you can go to Kickoff, you can. There are a ton of companies. Just search up like a credit builder loan. That's what it is. It's just like you pay like a $25 fee every month. They put it into a savings account, and also they report it on your credit report as though it's a loan. And then at the end of the long term, you'll actually get the money back. So it's like a win-win. It's a win-win. So yeah, that's what I would suggest that you do. If you want to challenge the account, if you want to challenge the bankruptcy, I have a free full webinar on YouTube. Just search my name and how to challenge a bankruptcy. Okay, how do I take this off the screen and go to the next one? All right, so oh, you just use the bankruptcy. You just watch. I just watched the bankruptcy. If I can read, I just watched your bankruptcy video, and I actually got one of them removed off TransUnion. Still working on Equifax and experience. Shout out to you. When did you do it? When did you do it? You said just. So I don't know how recent. How do I take? I don't know how to remove this off the screen. Oh, oh, I see it. Oh, okay, very cool. All right, so collections caused me to drop 37 points after not being able to verify. They removed it and then it went up 8 points. Delisha, I'm a bit confused. Let me ask a follow up question because you said it caught it. So I'm assuming, like you said, it initially caused you to drop 37 points. So whenever the collection first hit your report, it cost you 37 points. And then you said they were not able to verify it. Then they removed it, and then what I'm assuming put it back on your report, and then it caused you another 8 point drop. Is that what you're saying? I want you to clarify before I answer this, so I can make sure I'm answering the right question. All right. So the CFPB. I think I'm in the middle of your question because you. Oh yeah. Then she goes. So you said I see for the past few weeks, student loans have had everyone in an uproar, and they just hit me for 75 points, and they'll be off my report next year. But should I be doing something, man? Uh, that is probably the first video that I'm going to record now that I'm back home because yes, it has been hitting a lot of people. Because as you guys know, like the federal student loan pause ended, then they gave us like a year grace period. And all of that ended pretty much about 2 months ago. And so this month, last month and this month was the first time that most people were even aware that the loans were back active because I felt like they didn't make that they weren't as loud with that. So a lot of people had no idea that their student loans were active. And so how student loans work is they're not even going to report how federal student loans work. They're not even going to report that your payment is late until you have went 3 months in a hole, like 3 months past due. Usually at least 3 months past due. And so with that being said, whenever you are aware that your student loans are active in active mode and you know they're not in deferment anymore, you are hit with like a 60 to 90 day late payment on your credit report, and it takes a lot of points. A lot of people have been affected by that. Like I have seen it so much. So even my family members, like personal friends and family members, are texting me like, I've been, working so hard on my credit and then this happened, right? So like it's devastating. I don't want to even act like I know what's gonna happen because this is the first, like this has never happened. However, what I will say is I have had two people tell me that calling and getting on either an income based repayment plan or requesting like a rehabilitation program, they put them on a program, right? Even if it was just like $0 a month, they put them on an income based repayment plan, and they told them that after 6 months they'll be able to remove delay payments. That's what I've been told. I've been told that by two separate parties, so I haven't verified it myself. So I I'm kind of still waiting to make the video till I'm sure about that. I actually wanted to call them, but tomorrow's Good Friday. I didn't realize that they won't be in the office. So my plan is to call them Monday to see, because they don't, even on their website I was looking, and they don't necessarily have, like, they're not offering solutions on the website. But so I want to call them to get more information about it, because but a lot of people are affected by it. A lot of people. Thank you. All right, let me get one from TikTok. All right, how to get an age charge off months before the date fall off. So if you're within 6 months of the natural fall off date of an account, you typically can ask for what's called an early exclusion. And how you can do that one or two ways. You can either call and just, if you get a cool rep, you can say, hey, this account is due to fall off in November. I don't know, whenever it's due to fall off. If you're within 6 months of that fall off date, you can say, hey, this account is due to fall off in November. I am trying to purchase a home right now, and because it's up so close to falling off, will you please grant me like an early exclusion? So you can call them and do it. And again, if you get a cool rep, they'll do it. However, you have the chance of running into a rep that's like, you have those like reps that's they too much by the book to the point where they don't like to grant them. And you can't argue with them about it, because technically they are right. They are right. So I either will send a letter as well and then call, like do both, and then, or sometimes I'll like hang up on a rep and then call back and get another rep to see if they'll grant the early exclusion. But it's called an early exclusion. TransUnion is the most friendly with them. Equifax, Ec- yeah, it's Equifax. Equifax is typically like the harshest, like, in saying no. Experian kind of teeter totters, as with everything. Sometimes they're really really easy to work with when it comes to it, and then sometimes they're just like no. So I would try with all. I mean, you might as well try. You literally might as well try. How to get out of ChexSystem. So ChexSystem is a third party reporting agency that collects banking information, namely like negative bank information. So if you've ever overdrafted, if you've ever had the bank close an account, if there's ever been like suspected fraud or anything in your banking history, it will be aggregated on this report. And then whenever you try to either open up a new credit report, a new bank account, or even credit cards and things of that nature, some companies will pull your EW or your ChexSystems report or your EWS report. They're one and the same, and to see like what your history is with banking. And so, how to get out of the ChexSystems, because they typically only keep negative records. A lot of times, you won't have a ChexSystems report if you've never had any negative banking history. With that being said, how to get out of them. So it's not necessarily, you don't, there's no way to get out of ChexSystems, right? Like they're if you have ever had a file with them, you will always have a file. Now, what you need to be concerned about, right, is removing or challenging the record that's causing you to get denied a bank account or something like that. And so the first step is obtaining your report. Like, go to their website and request your report. You can call them. They used to offer it. They used to offer a way for us to download it online, but I know like they teeter totter. So sometimes you do have to call them to request it, but you are entitled to a free copy yearly, and they can't deny you. So you are entitled to a free copy of your check system report, and also per the FCRA, you are also entitled to a accurate report and also a reasonable challenge dispute process. So you can dispute their report, but you first need to get your report. It's super important that you actually get the physical copy of your ChexSystems report, so you know what to challenge. Because not every entry is worth the challenge. Like if it's overdraft, that's like, okay, obviously it's not favorable, but it's also just not worth the time to dispute. Because for what, right? Like, you want to look at things like if you had like if they had a suspected fraud. Like those are the type of things that will cause you to not be able to get a bank account and even some credit cards. So you challenge it. You challenge it. You can challenge them the same way as you challenge the credit bureaus. They're under the same guidelines and laws, like the same law that regulates the credit bureaus are the laws that regulates these third party entities, agencies rather, like ChexSystems. So you can challenge them. I have a if you're in Credit Academy, I don't know by just looking at your name right now, but if you are in Credit Academy in a community, there is an entire webinar about how to challenge these third party reports. Because along with ChexSystems, if you do have a record in ChexSystems, chances are you also have a record in EWS. And two others. So I give you the full list of who to contact on what. Uh, I keep saying like I am not gonna pull it up, but I happen to have this one already queued up in my thing, so I can actually just pull it up really quick and show you who the companies are. You said banking, so right here. So this is the first page, and so screenshot this before I go to the next slide. So you have Certegy, and I even included their phone number as well as their website. But if you have a negative check systems report, chances are you need to get all of these. You need to just do them all at once, request your report from all of these companies at once, and then send your challenges at the same time. Um, we have Certegy for the ones who can't see it. Certegy Payment Solutions, and then Check Systems, like as the person asked for, and then the last three is Cross Check, and then we have EWS, which is early warning services, and then we have child I can't see global payments, and then one last one, telecheck. I'm sorry, I said three more. So total, it's six. It's six companies total. So if you have a bad check system or EWS report and you need a challenge history with that, I'll list them one more time because I know some people can't see it. So if you have a bad banking report or you just want to, if you keep getting denied for a credit card or a bank account, if you can't get a bank account, then it's because of one of these agencies. And you need to request your report, number one, and then also challenge any suspected fraud or any like get the report first because there could be multiple things. But get your report from all of these companies. It is free. They can't deny you. They have to make it available for free, and also they have to give you a reasonable chance to dispute it. Okay, so I'll name the company is six of them. Certegy, so Certegi, Certegy Payment Solutions. You can just search Certegy; it'll come up. If you're on YouTube, you're able to screenshot. So Certegy, and then we have Check Systems, and then we have Cross Check, and then we have Early Warning Services, or otherwise known as EWS, and then we have Global Payments, and then the final one is Telecheck. Okay, so if you have a bad banking report, if you cannot open a bank account, if you cannot open if you keep getting denied for a credit card and you don't know why, like if your credit should qualify you for that card, but you're still getting denied, it is likely because you have history in one of these reports. Also, another um, red flag, or indication rather, another indication that you may have a bad banking report is if you cannot, no matter, I don't care how long you work on your credit, or how long you've had a credit card and showing history, if you can't get approved for more than $2,500, typically it's because of something in one of these reports. Usually when it comes to like being stuck in that low limit range, it's probably because you either have like overdraft records, because I don't know if you guys know this, but like every time your bank accounts go overdraft, every time it goes into the negative, every time you get one of those, I'm gonna get the name wrong, but I'll explain it because you guys will know what I'm referring to. Like I know for a fact Navy Federal offers it. You know how uh banks will allow you to like go negative $500. I forgot what it's called, like oops or something like that. What is it called? Somebody, so I'm not like speaking Spanish. You know how like they'll allow you to like overdraft $500, and essentially like the bank will make it seem like okay, it's okay, you can do it, and da da da. and most people don't realize like what happens when they do this. What is it called? Oops. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. But I know other banks offer it as well outside of Navy Federal. Hopefully, y'all know what I'm referring to, right? Um, Whenever that happens, whenever you take that like loan that I think they call it like a checking account loan or some overdraft loan or something. Whenever you take that, what they don't tell you is that is put into these reports, right? And what it does to your borrowing and your credit cards and all of that is it immediately puts a high risk indicator on your credit profile. So like when you submit a credit application to a lender, what happens is they'll get your credit report. They'll obtain your credit report, but they'll also obtain the red flags, the indicators of your likelihood of defaulting on the account. And one of them is because you have that oops within the last like if you typically like if you've had it within the last 6 months and you apply for a credit card, you're never ever ever going to get like the offer that your profile would have qualified for had you not had that indicator, right? Because that's considered a high risk indicator. Like you are overextended in your credit, so credit card companies cannot offer you, not cannot, but they will not offer you, even what your credit profile qualifies for, even your income qualifies for. So essentially, like that will mask your eligibility in terms of your income and your credit profile. Like you won't qualify for what your profile truly qualifies for because of that. So just an FYI. All right. How do I? Okay. Let me see. I'm getting another one from TikTok. You just closed on your home. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Congrats. Um. Oh wait. I was trying to do the perfect. I just got upgraded from my first starter card. What do you recommend my next card to be? Um. Do you only have one credit card, or are you just saying like your first card just got upgraded? Am I overthinking? If you only have one credit card, then you definitely need to get another one for sure. And I would actually, I don't know how long you've had that card, so it's really hard to say because I would, if you have at least two credit cards, I would have recommended that you get a at least a traditional card, like a mid tier card, right next. However, because I don't know if this is your first card or how long you've had that card, I wouldn't necessarily tell you to jump into a mid tier card because I know like your borrowing eligibility is not going to be ideal. Um, so answer that question first before, because I don't want to lead you astray. You close tomorrow? I close tomorrow, and I definitely use your advice from the home buyers class to fix a last minute drop. Yeah, shout out to you. Wait, I didn't see your name. I think it was Jay. Yeah. Oh, I know who you are. Hey, shout out to you. Congratulations. I love that. I love that. Listen, homes all 2025. Period. Um, you can opt in for the courtesy overdraft. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So different companies will call it like different things. I know maybe federal calls it oops, but the point is, even if they call it courtesy, you pay for that on the back end. Just FYI. Just FYI. So and if you're not sure if you are affected by this, get your reports. Print out your reports. And it'll be on there. It'll be on there. It will be on your banking reports, not your credit reports, but your banking reports. It'll be on there. They they obviously will say it like in the terms and conditions, but they don't. We don't read it or whatever. Oh, but yeah, like that affects you and it affects your borrowing ability. It affects it. Uh, a checking line of credit. That's what it's called. Thank you. Just for using a provided program, I don't use it often, but I have set it up as a just in case. Um, yeah, like so, and I want to be careful with my terminology. So when I say penalize, I obviously don't mean, well, I mean to me that's a penalty, right? Like if you're pretty much making it seem like it's a courtesy or there's no credit report harm or damage by doing this, and then I find out that like yes, it is affecting me. So that's why I say penalty. So like no, you're not going to be penalized in terms of like they're not going to charge you extra fee. However, it does affect your borrow worthiness. Because it just looks, it appears as though you're overextended. Now if you're just opted in and you don't use it often. Like, and that's also another thing. I'm not saying never use it. Never use it. That's not necessarily what the lenders care about either. It's more so like that pattern, that the trend line. How often are you using it? Is that something that you are relying on? I don't know about you guys, but I remember I remember years ago when I don't know if they first started offering it, but when I first started using it, it would be like a dang near a part of my dang near paycheck. Like honestly, it was like a an ongoing thing. Like it was already calculated into my expenses in my mind. It's like, okay, if I was negative $500, whenever my check hit, I know it's gonna take $500, but I also know I can get that $500 back, type of thing. And I would use it like that, but I had no idea, what it was doing on the back end. And that may not be y'all reality, but it certainly was my reality at one point when I first heard about it. I didn't know, and I guess this is just something that I would have wanted to know. So my advice would be, if you have used it in the past, if you even have made if you've made a if you've made regular use of it, I would, number one, suggest that you definitely have another bank. So this is for anyone, regardless if you didn't use that. Make sure you have another bank account, another account with another bank outside of, like, I'm gonna just use Navy Federal for this example. Have another bank outside of Navy Federal, a personal account where you have a checking and a savings account with that bank, right? Never, ever, 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 ever allow that bank account, the bank account that's outside of the OOPS program, to become negative. I gotta turn off those freaking reactions. I don't know why. Anyways, or what was I saying? Oh, have another bank account outside of Navy Federal, right? Personal bank account where you have a checking and a savings, right? Never allow that to never allow that to overdraft. Also, keep at the very least, don't ever let your savings account go below $0 at this bank, your other bank account. Why? Because it'll show that you have a funded bank account on your credit applications if you have at least $10, or a funded savings account if you have at least $10 in a savings account, right? And so how to offset, right? We're thinking in terms of lenders. If a lender is already feeling as though you're overextended and you pretty much can't afford what you already have going on, they're going to be less likely to give you more money, right? Like they don't want you to file bankruptcy. They want you to pay them back. What you can do to kind of offset that a bit is to show them that you have a funded savings account. They don't see the exact amount of your bank account. They can't see the exact amount of your bank account, and nor can they see how much you overdrafted, even if you took the whole entire $500. That's against the law. However, they can see that you overdrafted. Okay. And so how to kind of offset the effects of that is to have a funded savings account. Don't allow, I don't care what happens. You're gonna have to go without that $10. I don't care if you on the side of the road and need gas. You're gonna have to figure it out another way. Don't let that savings account go under $10. Especially not if you've had the overdraft in your main account. It just looks bad on your behalf. Um so don't let the savings account get below $10. But also your checking account in the new account or the other account, a hack, it was really ain't a hack, but like another workaround is that if your direct deposit is currently going to Navy Federal, I have found it's super helpful if you start rerouting your direct deposit to the new account, or at least a portion of it. So I don't know if your job will allow you to like break up your paycheck, like still have some getting sent to Navy Federal, but it's really good if you have direct deposit going to the account outside of the. I feel like it's a way simpler way I can explain this. Let me gather my thoughts really quick. So, Navy Federal is the account that you overdrafted, right? Having Chase or another bank account outside of that. Making sure that you have a funded savings account with this bank, but also making sure that a portion of your direct deposit goes into this account is a sort of cheat code hack workaround. Not really, but just like it just makes it balances out the effects of what the overdraft does, because then you're not relying on one bank account. You have a funded savings account, but also you don't have a history of overdrafting in this bank account, and you have direct deposit to that bank account to lenders. And on paper, it just allows it to be a bit more balanced. You look a lot more trustworthy, and you look a lot like you have it together. You look like you have it together a lot more than maybe you do. Who knows? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. But on paper, it does help, and it'll help your credit applications. You'll notice your credit card applications. Um, you'll notice that your borrowing ability will increase. The things that you're approved for at the rate that you're approved for them will improve. So, like making small changes like that makes a big difference in our credit card applications. Um, so I don't even know what question led to that, but I hope that made sense. After your first starter card, should I get another starter or mid tier? One card for 7 months. So you are still very much into like the freshman range of building credit. So if you've been doing really good with that card, like reporting a low utilization between no higher than 10%, then I would say just move to a mid tier card. If you haven't, if you feel like you have been reporting a high utilization, especially if you've been reporting anything around like 30%, which is the industry standard, but because it's a starter card, and if you are have been reporting 30%, that's not good. That's not good enough, because what's going to happen is if you do get approved for a mid-tier card, because you most likely will get approved for it. That's not the issue. Like getting approved for a credit card is not hard at all. You want to get approved for a credit card at a good rate, and you want to have a good limit. Or in my opinion, what is the point of having a credit card? So if you haven't been reporting a low utilization, I would personally recommend that you either wait a few more months, have at least 4 months of you consistently reporting between 1 and 10% on your utilization. Obviously, you can't have any late payment with on this credit card. If you've had a late payment within that 7 months, then you need another starter card. But if you haven't had a late payment on that credit card within the 7 months, and you've been reporting a low utilization, then I will go ahead and comfortably tell you to move on to the mid tier. But if you are still working out the kinks, if you're still reporting a high balance, and by high, I want to be clear for those who are not familiar with what I typically advise. By high, I mean anything over 15% is high. Like it's high. It's high to me. Um, or not it's high to me because it don't matter. I'm not lending you the money. It's high to lenders, especially when it's on a starter card. Like if you have a low limit credit card and you are reporting a 30%, you dang near should you might as well be maxed out, honestly, when it comes to how lenders view it. Because they're looking at it like, okay, if you cannot manage a $500 credit card, if you can't manage a $200 credit card, there's no way we're going to approve you for a high credit limit. There's just no way. You have like a credit is a show and prove game. Like everything that you do, it has to look good on paper, and that's what like I try to explain that to people. Like you could be the best person in the world, you could be the most responsible person in the world, but until it you can prove that on paper, it doesn't matter. Especially to lenders, because you are literally we are just a number to them, and they don't care about none of that. So like make sure when it comes to credit, you there are things that you have to do in order that it looks right on paper, that sometimes can feel in a moment like it's going against like your best interest, right? Like, why would I get another starter card? And I've had this card for 7 months. Well, because I would not recommend you to get a mid-tier card if you're starting at a starter card limit. Like, it's no point. It's really no point. And the limit that you start with, it says a lot about the process, like in terms of the bucket, essentially like the bucket that they put you in when you first get approved. It's harder to get out of that bucket. Like I see this mistake a lot when people will go from a starter card, or they'll either try to how do I explain this in the easiest way possible. So like I see this a lot with people who maybe piggybacked off someone, right? So they'll have the qualifying score to maybe get it like a starter American Express, right? And they'll rush to get an American Express card just because I don't know, people just are they just want American Express cards for whatever reason. But the problem is they don't realize that like yeah they'll approve you because you're not on paper you're not a risk to them yet. But what they approve you for is not worth it. You quite literally could have had better lending terms and borrowing terms with a Capital One card, or but people be wanting to like skip that step, and it's like no, don't do that, because what happens is when you get approved for American Express at a starter card at a starter profile level, right? American Express will keep you in that box for at least 5 years, and you don't even realize it. Like the things that they approve you for, how far they'll allow that card to grow, you are capped very low because of your starting profile. And Like American Express, especially because not only are they a relationship bank, but also they are the bank that after you get approved for your first American Express card, you don't ever get another hard inquiry from American Express. Whether you are getting a business American Express card after that, whether you are getting another personal card, um, a loan, like funding, they don't check your credit. They don't pull your credit, a hard pull on your credit anymore. So that starter, wherever you enter them at, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and obviously the relationship that you build with them, um, between that time. But that starting where they approve you at the profile, that makes a big difference. So I don't ever recommend people to like rush into those cards. Let me see, let me see. Where's my mouse? Okay. All right. So are traditional bank accounts better than online like Chime or Woodforce? So I wouldn't even consider those two in the same bracket. I know they're both online, but like um I'm not having a short question, but I don't know what these are called. I wish I'd had a term for them, but I'll just state them. Bank accounts like Cash App, Chime. There are a few others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Mm, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Those are not lenders. Don't look at those like they're bank accounts, right? Woodforce, it is considered a bank account. Um, the reactions are killing me on this camera. But anyways, um, what was I gonna say? Oh, what like a bank can be online and still be like cool. It can still be considered a regular bank account, and it's not really frowned upon. Like for example, Capital One, um, I know they have some physical branches, but like their entire bank account started as a or it's the majority of their bank account base is from online banking. So the online part doesn't matter. Like yes, as long as it's a nationally recognized like online bank, that's fine. Woodforce is fine. Chime and Cash App and those like sometimes I don't I wish I knew the name. I don't know why I can't. Not even necessarily fintech because it's not just fintech, but they definitely are taking up majority of like the market share. Um, so yeah, it's not just fintech because like even before kind of like they became popular, there were like sometimes like a if you get direct deposit with your employer and that you have like those like employer cards, y'all know what I'm talking about, like those employer cards where you'll get your check on those cards. Those are like the same category as like a Cash App or a Chime, whereas it's not necessarily fintech, but it's a word for it. I literally just cannot think of it right now. But the point, y'all know, I believe that y'all understand what I'm saying. Like those type of accounts, those are not looked at as a real bank account. So if you do have those, that's fine. They cannot be your only account though. If you ever want to be taken serious, um, I call them buy here pay here bank accounts because they're like the buy here pay. Yeah, yeah, I understand why you say that. I understand where you're coming from, but yeah. So like, make sure you have a real bank account. You like you just have to. That's why I said like if you cannot get a bank account, number one, like there are a lot of second chance bank accounts. So even if you do have it an entry in Chime or not Chime, ChexSystems, early warning system, and you can't get like your local bank account, they're not the only ones. Like we're in 2025. Capital One is a great company for second chance bank accounts. A lot of credit unions don't check early warning systems or check systems and stuff like that. So like you're not at a complete loss as you probably like assume you are. You're not. I promise you. Like there are multiple companies that will still allow you to open up a bank account. Okay, let me see. Like a yeah, like a prepaid account or she okay. I work for a bank and we call them prepaid. Okay, so I didn't even know that if there's another word for it, and I learned it when I was in school learning the technical terms for things, but I just can't remember it. But yeah, it is. It's like a prepaid bank account almost. That's stupid because Cash App you can literally invest. Get over it. Oh, maybe he was talking to somebody else. So I just got a rose gold, Amex, and Chase preferred. What should I do next to make sure I'm on point? So those are really good cards. Love, and have both of those cards. But when you say what should you do next? What do you mean? Like in terms of uh, I mean, like yeah, I guess what you mean. How often do you ask for credit limit increases? Child, don't get me talking about credit limit increases. Depending on the card, but multiple times a year. Like American Express, every quarter, 4 times a year. I need that increase. Um, if the company checks, if the company does a hard pull like Chase, I'll limit it to 2 times a year. And then companies like Apple who don't have any hard approval or not hard approval terms, hard waiting terms for increases, I'll ask like every other month, depending on like what it is. Like the Apple Card, like I said, that they're sort of like an anomaly because like most companies don't allow more than four a year. Most companies will make you wait at least 90 days in between your request. Apple will literally like you can literally request a credit limit increase every month. I think it's technically like 40 something days, but like every month. I ask them like every few months. I don't really OD it like that because it's just like typically like I put them on the same schedule as my American Express cards. If I'm asking for an increase on those, I'll just go ahead and rope Apple in. If I unless I like want to buy something from Apple. Um is having too many credit cards bad? It is if you don't if you're not if you are overextended, if you are reporting high utilization, then having more credit cards is bad. Yes. But there isn't like a set limit like okay, above this is bad. Why do TikTok do that? Do the verification thing. There's no set limit, but the more credit cards you have, the lower your utilization is expected to be. If I can talk, the more credit cards you have, the lower your utilization is expected to be, or you're going to be penalized for it. And yeah, don't have more than two starter cards though. Let me see. Um, oh, let me see. Is Capital One Savor card a good card? Going from their secure card. I have Capital One. No, I have the. I Oh child, which one is it? I think it's that's a good card. I have the Venture. I think I used to have a Saver. I did at one point. I did have a Saver card. The only reason why I don't as I was about to close that card, they offered the Venture. I think that's the only reason why I don't have it. But and also the only reason that I was going to close it is because I have the American Express Gold card, and that essentially gives the same thing as a saver, but like at a faster rate. So that's a good card, especially it's a great like food card. It's a great like everyday grocery shopping or like food type of card. Is that's that yeah, it is a good option. And especially I think you said you're coming from their secure card. So the saver is a good option. And it's one of those, like I said, everyday cards that pretty much works for everyone. Mm. Chase don't hard pull no more for CLI. Oh, did they just recently do that this year? I think they did email me about some changes, but I didn't even look at it to be honest. When did they implement that? Okay, Chase. But do they still limit you? Do they still limit you to two? Because the last time I asked for increases made was it was actually last year. I haven't even asked for one this year, which is unlike me. Um, no. So American Express they don't offer only um American Express, most of the cards that they have now, and also like pretty much every new card that they come out with are charge cards, but they do still have credit cards. Listen, I'm as much as I love like the American Express Gold, and sometimes I love the Platinum. Yeah, I know how I'm kind of I teeter on it because I actually like as the years pass, they are actually taking away more and more of the benefits, which is it's really becoming like I'm really starting to like really not like the platinum card. Like it's starting to not make sense to me. And I say starting, but I've also been like telling you guys this for a few years because I've long felt like this. But in very specific specific situations is the platinum card still worth it in my opinion, but probably 90% of the reasons why people have the platinum card, it is not worth it. That card is not. And y'all know I'm a Amex fan. Like they are actually probably are they my yeah, I would say that they're for sure my favorite credit card. Yeah, like they if they don't have the top spot, they have the number two spot in my wallet. The American Express Platinum card is increasingly becoming more and more not worth it. Like they are continuing as to take away like some of the benefits, and that dang on annual fee is continuing to go up. So whole nother subject. But the point is, yes, American Express do have some credit cards that comes with a limit, and oh, that's what I was saying. I like credit cards. I don't like. I love the gold card for as my grocery food card everyday grocery food card, right? But I don't want all of my credit cards, or even all of the ones from American Express, to be a credit. I mean, to be a charge card. The thing is, with charge cards, number one, you're not supposed to carry a balance. I see a lot of people like saying that they carry balances on charge cards. That's quite literally the opposite of what a charge card is for. A charge card is for you to recycle the balance in like month in and month out, multiple times in months. It's for you to make like it's one of those cards that comes with a lot of qualifier points. Yeah, just like you can gain a lot of points on those cards at a fast rate. That's what I'm trying to say, at a fast rate. But that's because of the type of card it is. It is literally made for you to spend the limit or whatever, spend however much you want, but like pay it back within the same billing cycle. A charge card, if you're carrying over a balance on a charge card, the interest rate, the APR, the APR on a credit on a charge card to just carry something over month by month is astronomical. Like it's that for a reason. And it doesn't matter how good your credit score is. You can have a perfect credit score. If you have a charge card, your interest rate is extremely high on that card if you carry over a balance. Why? Because those cards are not designed to finance anything. Those are not finance cards. That's the thing. That's the difference between like a charge card and a credit card. If the card does not have a limit, you should not be financing anything. Financing meaning that you are carrying over the balance and slowly paying down a balance. That's not the cards for that. So I always recommend, or I don't even want to say I recommend this, because if you don't like know how to use the cards, it's going to use you. Like the way these interest rates are on just a regular card, I wouldn't even want you to get any charge card if you don't really truly understand the credit card game. But when it comes to charge cards, though, what I was saying is those are the perfect everyday cards. All of my daily expenses, everything that I could use a credit card for, I use on a charge card. All of my uh so essentially, like my charge card replaces my debit card. I don't even know the pin number to my debit card, which is sad. Not a flex, because that's actually sad. And I needed it one time and I didn't have the freaking pin. The point is I don't use my debit card ever. Like I think the card that I have in my wallet is expired. I need a new one. But I use my charge card in place of my debit card, but I pay my balances. Like I don't even carry over a cent on the charge card, because the interest rate is insane. If I want to finance something, if I the last big thing I financed was probably like wash and dryer, like, or whatever you want to call it. Well, yeah, wash and dryer. If I want to finance something, I am going to put it on either a credit union card or another credit card that I have, a card that's made for financing. A charge card is not made for financing. If it does not have a limit, you should not be financing anything on it. What's the normal limit you use in a month on your Amex? That depends. I guess I can. I'll try. Actually, I can't do it right now, but I'm gonna look at that. That's a good video idea. Because I have a depending on if you're talking business or personal. Business, I spend, unfortunately, I spend a lot more. But personal, I mean, personal, I spend a lot because literally all of my expenses is on a credit card, unless it's like my mortgage. I can't pay it on a credit card. Um, there's a very few things I can't pay on a credit card, but unless I Unless I can't pay it on the credit card, then it doesn't. But every other than that, I'm a person that lives off my credit cards in the sense that I'm everything I want everything that I buy, I need points. I need something. I need to leave here with something. So I'm gonna swipe that credit card without a second thought. Give me my points because I don't like paying for flights. I actually haven't paid for a flight, and at this point, like over like 5 years, or I'm probably guessing it's probably like 3 or 4 years, but it's been a while since I've spent even a dime on a flight. Yeah, yep. You definitely covered it out, girl. Listen, it's as people always say, well, how do you fly for free? I use my credit card. I use my credit cards. I use my credit cards how they supposed to be used, but I pay them people back because I don't like interest. I hate paying anything that I'm not supposed to. I hate it with a passion. Um, hold on, I did see a good question, but it passed. The gold is teetering on that too. It is, friend. But I'm not gonna. I'm. I've been thinking like, am I biased when it comes to gold? I really be trying to ask myself that because I'm not gonna hold you. I want to make sure I'm being responsible with saying this because I. I'm not gonna. Yes, they are increasing on the annual fee. So yes, I am in full agreement with that. But I'm not gonna hold you. It is still the best card in my opinion. I'm trying to think before I just blindly say something. I don't know another card that's better than it. I'm not gonna hold you, friend. I'm not. I don't. I can't think off the top of my head. There's not just a cold fact because maybe it's been a new card that's dropped. I don't know, or maybe like a company revamped their old cards that I'm not aware of. I don't know a better card, a better everyday card than American Express Gold, and they know that too, which is aggravating. I hate that they know that now. That's why I say I'm gonna stop saying it. I'm gonna stop promoting it because I don't want them to continue to start smelling themselves. Like they really doing the most with the annual fees, but that card is still worth it. That card is still worth it. That's the card. The gold card is the card that really primarily makes up about 90% of the reason why I can fly for free. No lie. The American Express Gold card. The American, yes, I need to do a full video on that. The American Express Gold card is 1,000%, 90% of the reason because they pretty much make up about 90% of my points. Like it's they give you 4 points per dollar for every dollar that you spend on food, on DoorDash, on at any restaurant, at any grocery store, including Target. A lot of people don't know that Target is for some reason, and I hope it's not a mistake because I hope they never change it. They haven't changed it, and I've had it for over like 6 years at this point. Um, they qualify Target as a 4 point a 4x qualifier. So, child, I don't gotta buy a single item of food. But Walmart, they don't do it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's that's why I'm still kind of like waiting on them to break my heart with that, but they haven't in 6 years. Every time I shop at Target, whether online or and then you know what, I don't want to say this because I don't want to blow my spot. I don't want them to change it. But what I have noticed is if I'm shopping on Amazon, right? If I have a part of my order as the Amazon grocery. So Amazon has like it's really Whole Foods online. I don't know the specifics of it. If I have something in my basket for Amazon grocery, they will qualify that whole purchase as a 4x. Don't you ain't heard it from me? Mm-mm. Amazon. I mean American Express. That is not. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but they qualify, and I get those points every time. So sometimes I would literally just put a random a random Whole Foods item in my basket just for my entire purchase. I could be ordering furniture. I don't care what I'm ordering. Ouch. Wait, I'm trying to look for my bag. Oh, it fell. That's why. I could be ordering child something that don't got nothing to do with food, and they'll qualify it as a grocery and give me 4 times the points. When was the last time you paid interest on a card? So um, I don't necessarily I don't know the exact last time, but what I will do, let me not make it seem like I never ever pay interest. So I'll play with them. So like if for example, if I know I want a credit limit increase, I'll get them a few dollars in interest the month before. Like the month before I apply, I'll leave like $5 or something on the card just so they can make their little money and they can, want to give me an increase. Because, at the end of the day, it is a business. Companies want to make money and they're in it. It's a for-profit business. So if they ain't making no money off you, even if you're the most stellar customer, then, they're less likely to care to give you more money, right? So every few months, I'll let them get a few dollars or whatever. Every few months. They definitely don't get it every month. Definitely not. Wow, I did not know that about charge cards. I've literally been financing every month on that card. I was wondering why it was so much in interest. Yeah, no, like it's literally not made for that. What is the point of them not giving you a limit, girl? I mean, it's just like, yeah, you can like it, it's not made for. I don't even want to guess the reason why. I mean, it's just not made for. But no, heck no, girl, heck no. But yeah, on a credit card, yeah, you're good. I mean, you still gonna pay interest, but it's not gonna be as much as a charge card. What are your top three cards? I never knew the difference between a credit card and a charge card. I used to pay my CC like charge cards, so my utilization was non-existent. Like reported 0% utilization. Yet that's cool here and there. Like I definitely recommend that you report at least like a 1%. And you can still pay it off by the due date, so you can avoid paying interest. So don't, I want to confuse you. Like if you pay your credit cards down to zero by the due date, then you're not going to be charged interest. But I still leave a small balance to carry over on my statement date, just so I can at least report like a 1% utilization, or even like a 2 to 3 point or percentage utilization, just to have that reported, right? But your question was my top three credit cards. Ooh, I don't know why I like dread this question so much. And I think it's because like it depends. And it's just like soon as I marry a top three, I notice that card starts pissing me off. But I will say, so I'm not gonna do no specific order just so I can take that pressure off myself. But I would say the American Express Gold is definitely one of the top three. I'll just do personal. I was gonna do business, but I'll just do personal. American Express Gold. Uh, they just switched the name of this freaking card, but it used to be the City Premier. I think they just changed it. I want to say because they mailed me a new card and they had a new name on it, but like the City Premier. Um, and then what would be mine? What would be? I'm trying to think of what would be in the third place. This is a hard one because it's between all this business. What is the I'm trying to think of what this Chase card is called. I just know it's the card, the physical card that I have is blue. That's business because it's the business ink. I keep thinking of that because I use it a lot for business. But if I'm thinking personal gold, City Premier, I feel like I'm overthinking this. I, I'm gonna just say those two for now. And if I think of the third one, I'll say it. I'm trying. Yeah, because it's like I wouldn't. For some reason, I've been using my Apple Card a lot lately, but that's out of convenience because I keep forgetting my wallet places, so I'll end up using like Apple Pay. But that's definitely not one of my favorite cards. I honestly, that is a convenience card, and I like the some of the perks. I don't like that. I hate their reward program, so that's what keeps them out. Like if Apple Card get a better reward system, then they would honestly be one of my favorite cards, just for a lot of other reasons that they do, a lot of other things that they do. But it's just because like their limits it's improved greatly. Yeah, I know at first I had an issue with their limit. I didn't feel like they gave nearly enough. But lately, the last 18 months or so, they've been really good with increases. They've been really good with giving me pretty much exactly what I've requested. If I can't do two American Express cards, I'm gonna just say the Amex Gold, the City Premier, and oh yes, thank you, Raisha. You are the best. Thank you. Because I'm like, it's the blue chase card, but it's not been the Sapphire Preferred. That's exactly what it's called. The crazy thing is, what's so sad is the physical card that I have. It is literally it doesn't have the front on it anymore. I don't know what happened, but like the front peeled off. So it's the back. I can see that it used to be blue, but it's white to me. So I don't know the name of it. But yeah, it is the sapphire preferred. Yeah, I want yeah, it is the sapphire preferred because I remember I had the I'm having a brain fart right now. But yeah, it is the sapphire preferred. Child, it is literally a white card. And I just see the little tap thing. I think I washed it or something. I don't know. But I do use that card a lot. But my in business I use the platinum business, American Express business platinum, and then the business ink, Chase Business ink mostly. You know a card that I've been using a lot more than I thought I would, the Venture. And y'all know I couldn't stand that card when it first came out. But I believe I have the Venture X. You know they got about 10 versions of the Venture. I have the Venture X. I've been using it a lot. And now I don't know if it's out of convenience to be quite honest because no, it's not out of convenience actually. I've been using it and also I've noticed that they've improved those what's called they improved a lot with their multipliers, their points. My credit score, oh yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about the student loan late payment. I mentioned that earlier in this live. A lot of people were affected by that recently. A lot, like a lot of people. And I'm gonna call them Monday to see the options. Because from what I've heard by secondhand, so I can't confirm it, is if you get on the income based repayment plan after the late payments, if you call them to get on the income based repayment plan, they'll allow you to pay for at least 6 months, and then they'll erase the late payments. Secondhand information, though, I haven't been able to confirm that, but I have heard it from two like separate parties that don't know each other. So you know, I plan on calling them Monday though to talk or whatever. What are your thoughts on the bill card that lets you earn rewards on paying rent? So I I don't have personal experience with that card, so because I get asked about this card a lot, and actually the company I remember like maybe 2 years ago, last year or 2 years ago, they started reaching out to me actually, and they wanted me to promote it, and it did sound promising. I don't remember why I didn't. So I'm not saying there was anything wrong with what their card. I just haven't. At first, it almost seemed like a gimmick to me. Not saying it is, but I remember when they first started coming around, and I like you hear about these new fintech cards and all of that, and they promise a lot, and then they kind of disappear in like 2 years. So at first, that's initially why I said no, because I just didn't. I'm just like, I don't know. However, I don't have personal experience with them, but I actually know a few people with it. I love how they give you reward points on rent, and also they last I heard, this was a few months, like maybe 6 months ago, because they emailed me back, or they wanted me to promote it again. They were saying that they were going to add mortgage, which that sparked my interest for sure. Um, from what I heard, I like that. I haven't heard anything bad about them. Right, like I'll say that I haven't heard anything bad about them yet, and it's been 2 to 3 years since they've kind of been on my radar. I just don't have any personal experience, nor do I even know outside of the rent thing. I don't know pretty much anything else about the car because I just haven't researched them. But I've heard good things about them. I've heard good things about them, and I think that that's a great idea. I think that a lot of companies should reward you for rent. So yeah, I haven't heard any bad things about them at all. Yeah, if they add that facts, Sade, if they add mortgage to you, yeah, they got me for sure. I can't stand paying. I hate paying my mortgage every month, and I don't get anything for it, and that's a lot of money to just. Every time I pay it, I'm like, dang, that could have been a lot of points. So I mean, if they listen, they told me this was about like maybe six, or if it probably was longer than that, but it was within the last year that they. I remember they reached out to me again. It was like we're uh looking to add mortgage and da da da, and I was like that and that. Now you might get a meeting with that. No, I know you. Wait, well, my mortgage company, they don't allow me to use my credit card, so it depends on your company. Like my mortgage company only accepts ACH or like money orders, right? And they don't accept credit cards, so that depends on your mortgage company. If you get approved for a loan and receive a hard inquiry, is it easy to remove the inquiry? If you get approved for a loan or even a credit card, you should never dispute the inquiry, because the account can likely close, and it's not worth it. Like when disputing, oh shoot, Jesus, disputing inquiries is not, what you guys think it is. It's literally, most of the time, it's literally a waste of time. Like that, it doesn't benefit your profile, and it doesn't make a real difference in your borrow worthiness. Like it doesn't. It's a waste of time. Like truly, it is a waste of time. Inquiries are not that important in the eyes of lenders. They don't care about them at all. We as consumers, we care about them a lot more than lenders do. They can care less. But yeah, don't dispute the inquiry to an account that you were approved for, because the account will close, and then what? Somebody just asked the same question: how to get an inquiry off. You can technically challenge an inquiry. Now, if you want, you can challenge it. The only laws that govern inquiries are a permissible purpose, which is the only thing you can say is they didn't have permission to pull your credit report. Obviously, if you open the account, then they have permission. That's why if you do dispute an inquiry tied to an open account, a company can legally has the right to just close that account. Because if you're saying that you never gave them permission to view your credit report, then you're also saying that you didn't authorize the account. So they'll close it. You likely will get a fraud alert on your credit report, and all of that. But even if you didn't, let's just say you were denied for the or you were denied for the account. A lot of people will want to challenge it because they think like, oh my goodness, I'm not getting approved for this card because of this inquiry. It's never An inquiry is actually never the reason why you're not approved for a credit card, ever. It's never the reason why you're not approved for a loan. They don't hold enough weight to ever be the reason why you didn't get approved for something, ever. If you did not get approved for an account or a credit card, a loan, it is because there were multiple other things on your credit report that disqualified you. It's never just an inquiry, because an inquiry is considered a third tier denial reason, meaning like unless there are uh either unless there are multiple things that are in level 2 or even level 1, which is the highest level, like bankruptcies or something. Unless there are other qualifying reasons why you are denied, they can never just use a level 3 reason. Like they can't. So an inquiry is never the reason why you are denied. It can be the supporting reason, meaning like you already didn't qualify for it, so they'll just tack on pretty much everything else that's wrong with your credit report. But the inquiry is never a reason, ever. Ever. That's not true, because Chase has a 5 and 24. Um, I'm glad you mentioned that. So Chase 5 and 24 rule. The rule is what? You cannot open more than 5 accounts within the last 24 months. A lot of people think it's 5 inquiries. It's not 5 inquiries. The inquiries is not what's getting you denied. It's the fact that you've opened more than 5 credit card accounts or 5 accounts within the last 24 months. So it's not the inquiry. It's just, yeah, it's not the inquiries. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is a big misconception. People think you can't have more than 5 inquiries with Chase. I'm like, where have y'all been applying? Where have y'all been applying? I probably always have more than that's. I'm guessing it, but like when I'm actively applying for something, I routinely will have more than 5 inquiries. Why? Because I'm going to compare. Yes. Um, I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the best offer. I don't care what I'm applying for, even if it's a credit card. It's been a long time since I've gotten a new credit card, because I'm seeing grow my current credit limits. Because after a while, honestly, like all of these companies will offer the same credit card, just packaged in a different way. So you'll realize that like it's no point in me getting all of these credit cards more than just like growing the credit cards that I have. After you get to that mid tier level, the objective should be to grow your current credit line, so you're not having to continually year after year open up new accounts. It's the best when you can go at least a year, like when you after you've established, like after you have your established credit profile, and you have the cards that you want and whatever. If you can go more than a year to 18 months without any credit applications, that it just puts your borrowing power in a just a new level. Like they lenders love it. They love it. They love it. They're more likely to give you everything that you've asked for, including uh um I don't know why I keep wanting to call this interest rate, but it's APR on a credit card. Y'all know what I'm referring to. But including APR reduction, including if I ask for a credit limit increase and you only approve me for like 30% of what I was asking for, no, I'm not accepting that. I want this, or I'm going to open up another card. Like you just have a lot more. You just have a lot more negotiating power. Like you really can kind of negotiate. Like it just puts the ball in your court because you number one, you're not like you're not desperate. Like you don't you you qualify for any credit card in pretty much in the world that you want. They are fighting to keep you as their customer because every bank wants to be like your main credit card. They want it to be the main credit card in your wallet that you use everywhere majority of the times. Like that they want to be that card. So after a certain point in your credit, whenever you are building credit and you're doing it properly, you're not just getting random cards just to say just to say you have credit. Um, the way that I just lost the plot because I thought that was a spider on my wall, but it's a little feathery thing, girl. I mean, I don't even know what I was saying. I just lost my entire train of thought, and I was talking about borrowing power. After a point in your credit journey, your negotiating power will completely shift if you are being smart about it. Like if you are governing your credit profile with just general rules, like making sure that you are not opening more than 3 accounts in a single year. I say after your second year building credit, there's no reason at all in this lifetime that you need to open up more than 3 accounts in a single calendar year. That is excessive. And more than three, meaning like when you're at three, that's like your goal still shouldn't be three. Like your goal still shouldn't be three. At this point in my credit journey, I looked the other day and it was like 2 years since I've opened an account. And I remember like when I because y'all know I came from bad credit. So it ain't like I always had good credit. So it was very much a phase. I don't even know I want to say it. I don't even know if I want to qualify it as a phase because it certainly was long. But it was just like a time where it was just like because it was exciting to me to get approved for things. Because I was not used to getting instant approvals. I wasn't used to getting high credit limits. I wasn't used to being approved for credit limit increases. I wasn't used to getting the things that I'm applying for. I wasn't used to it. Like it was new to me. So it was like a rush. It's like I would apply for anything. I would see somebody getting approved for a credit card. Child ain't have no business in them people's store or whatever asking for a credit card. But because I knew I was gonna get approved, oh baby, I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna apply with confidence, and it's gonna excite me every single time. And because it's just like I used to think that that's the goal: get as many credit cards as possible, because my credit is good. Apply for anything as possible. So, like I said, child, when you coming from 400 and you touching I think at that point I had probably just passed 700 like that. I remember when I passed 700, like that was so dang on exciting to me that you couldn't tell me I didn't have an 850. You couldn't tell me that my 700 was not an 850. Period. I don't care. Like you know. So because of that, I just apply for anything. Anything that I knew I was qualified for, I apply for. And yeah, and I just would just do things. Just literally just apply for things. Didn't need it. Um fully fully about to like pay for something. And then they'll say, like, we have a credit card. And I would be my dumb butt would be like, okay, yeah. And then I would get approved. And I think that's like a good thing. I think it's like a flex. And it's just like now I look back and I cringe because not only have I had to close so many accounts within the last like 4 years. Like I've had to close so many accounts. That's just like, why do you don't even shop at that store? Or what do you have this credit card for? Both of these credit cards offer the same thing. What is the point of you paying an annual fee on? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like stupid. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Ouch. How do you feel about annual fees? If the card is worth it, then my favorite card, all of my favorite cards have annual fees, but um dang, is it storming or something? The heck? Is it storming in Dallas? I feel like I heard it, but then it's just what in the world? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, Christiana, I'm so glad you asked this question. She said, "What's your thoughts on the Citi Double Cash?" That card. That card is almost my heart. I think almost because like that, I'm always going to be a oh, that's so cute. I'm always going to be a fan of that card. Y'all know. I used to talk about that card so much. I remember City reached this was early, like earlier in my online journey, influencer journey. I talked about that dang on car so much. I remember City emailed me and was like, "We keep hearing your name, and we literally like don't." Basically, like, they was like, "Who are you?" Because we keep hearing about people saying like you recommend it. I remember that because I love that card. I don't care what nobody say. That card will always hold a special place in my heart because to me that's one of the best mid tier cards. I don't care. I don't care if the limits are not. Yeah, that wind got to be blowing. Who in Dallas? Hold on, let me make sure they know they ain't gonna turn. Like this wind is it sounds like the wind is going crazy, but let me check because child, the way the weather been lately, I'm trying to figure out is that wind like it's I can't really tell if it's wind or what. I'm looking at the weather. Hold on. Oh, okay. I mean, it's like windy, but I mean, like that sounds crazy outside my window. Like it sounds crazy. It sounds a lot worse than what weather.com is making it seem, but whatever. Um, yeah, the City Double Cash, that's one of my favorite cars. And that car will forever hold a special place in my heart. Not only because I think it's one of the best mid-tier cards, the only card that really pretty much has taken that space in my heart is like the Amex Gold. And it's just because I'm a points girl. I'm a points girl. I like to fly for free. And because I don't like cashback. I'm trying to yeah, like I it's like I prefer points over cashback, but that's like a personal thing. It's not even because points are better than cash. Like no, only because I have to fly so much and I want free flights, I prefer points. So that's literally the only reason why like that card is not like my one of my favorite cards. I love that card. I love that card. I don't care what nobody say. I love that card. I love that card. You did used to talk about that card so much. Yes, and I need to talk about it more. So don't think just because I haven't been talking about it, it's because they freaking upgraded it to the premiere. I think that's the change because I don't use it anymore. Like yeah, I think when it expired the last time, they like upgraded me to the premiere. I didn't even ask for it. I didn't ask for that because the CD double. I should have called them and said no. I want to keep my double cash. No, I love that card. I love that card. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let me see. Your son, 18, first credit card. I would say if it's their first credit card, I would say so if they haven't messed up their credit yet, even if they don't have a credit score, I would say get them a student if they're a student. Get them a student card at either Chase or Citi. Um, I would get like when my if my kids were 18 now. That's how I kind of try to frame it in my mind. If my children were 18 and they were getting their first card, if they were piggybacking off my credit, like which they will, I'll put them on at like 16 or 17. If they're piggybacking off my credit, I'm going their first card, they're still starting with a student card. Don't get it twisted. I don't care if your credit score shows you have a 750, you're not getting an Amex first. Ain't no way. No. You will, however, get a student card, and I'm gonna make sure that your student card is at a premier bank where they have a roadmap to top tier credit cards. So it's either going to be Chase or Citi. I'm gonna get their student card, and even if you're not piggybacking, I want to be clear. So even if my kid, let's just say I didn't have good credit and they were not piggybacking off my card, I would still start them off with a student card at a bank that also offers top tier cards. That I don't know why I'm losing the words. Like I guess I'm tired, but I can't even think of the word. But like what in the heck is such a? I use the word every day. Whatever. It's super easy whenever you start to establish credit with or establish and cultivate relationships with banks. If you start off at their student card, it's super easy to get to their like top tier cards with like in a shorter amount of time than it would for like an outsider. Um, so I would start them off as in Citi or Chase. In Citi or Chase. American Express, they used to offer a student card, but I don't think they offer it anymore. They I don't think so, but maybe they do. I don't believe that they offer it anymore, but I would start them off. I wouldn't go to Capital One student card unless they had to or Discover. I'm not. Their student cards are cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, but the only difference that sets them apart from Citi and Chase is because the top tier cards. In my opinion, and every time I say this, I offend y'all, but I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion, Discover and North Capital One, they don't offer top tier cards. They don't have top tier cards. I know. I also said I have the Venture X from Capital One, so I also have like the quick the whatever the first Capital One card is. It was like one of my first credit cards. I still have that, so it's no beef with them. But in my opinion, not even their top tier cards are top tier cards. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if some of y'all are Capital One and what's called stands. Love them for the tier that they're in. Like, I love Capital One starter cards the most. I love Discover like that time between starter and mid tier. I love Discover for that. They don't have a starter card in my. I mean, they don't have a top tier card in my opinion. So because I know that Chase and City has some of the most prestigious top tier cards, those are really good banks to start off at the ground level, where your credit like isn't. They really don't have a credit requirement for students, other than they don't want you to have messed it up. So even if you don't have a credit score and you're in school, they'll approve you. So like they're really good to kind of get in with on a ground floor, build that relationship, establish that relationship with them, and then eventually make your way to their top tier cards, even business cards. So like they love them for that. Love them for that. I recently called Midland Credit Management. They real cute with that slight name change, by the way, but Midland Funding, to try to negotiate a pay to delete, but they declined. Can I still dispute with the credit bureaus? They declined. Midland Funding offer pay to deletes automatically within their policy. Have they changed this since they did this new name change? Hold up. Have they? Let me look that up. Because I noticed the cute look. Let me see. Midland. Let me see. Yeah. They, well, according, let me see. I'm gonna look at their website. But according to what's it called, they still offered it. They used to automatically include it. It's nothing that you even like they had to offer. They literally just included it. But let me see. Do we got anybody that worked there? Because we usually have at least somebody that worked there one of them. But let me. I'm looking on their website, but honestly, I ain't gonna better read their full like disclosures right now. I'm gonna look into that. But they used to just include it automatically. The point being, I mean, the whatever the point is. Let me see. I recently called them to try to negotiate a pay delete, but they declined. Can I still dispute? Oh yeah, you can still. Your question wasn't even what I thought it was. Why I'm doing all that, but yeah, you can. Yeah, if they didn't accept it, then yeah, you you could. Yep. The lady was acting like I owed her to that person. Child, they do make commission off of it though, so it do get real personal with them. Is it good to apply for two cars in one day? American Express is the only company that I would recommend doing that with, and that's because, like I said, they don't check your credit after the first approval. Yeah, they're the only bank I can think of off the top of my head. Ooh, I haven't heard you say City Double Cash. I know, but it's not because I love them less. It really is not. I still think that they're one of the best credit cards in the mid tier. Like, I love them. They will always have my heart. I know that's the thing. I need to quit saying the Amex. I need to quit promoting Amex because they don't even do like sponsorship. Although I've never asked, but yeah. But yeah, it is one of my favorite cards. It's whatever. It's whatever. Let me see. What time is it? Let me get a few more. Um, cards to help rebuild credit. Open Sky, Credit One, Self. Trying to think off the top of my head. Trying to think off the top of my head. I think I have it pulled up. Give me a sec. Child, I'm getting sleepy. It is about the storm in Dallas. That Oh, child, yeah, this wind is really loud. I'm not surprised. Like this wind is loud. Like it caught me off guard. Uh, hold on for the person who just asked about the credit cards. I was gonna pull up the list if I had it queued up already, which I don't know if I do. Check. But I hope while I'm passing this, if the person is on here still who had asked what was like the first letter that you send for charge offs or even collections, um, I can here's the no, that's not it. Here we go right here. If you're not on YouTube, I'm I'm not gonna read the whole slide. I was about to, but I don't feel like it. It's the how to properly dispute collections. It's 5 steps. Um, yeah, I mean the video will still be on the YouTube channel because I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not about to read all this. Um, but here's what you do. Like if you're challenging a collection, here's like 5 easy steps. In the letters that you need to send, you just screenshot it and obviously plug in your information. It goes without saying, Lashonda. But yeah, just screenshot that really quick. For the person who had asked earlier, since I brought it up really late, she probably ain't even on this live no more. But that's the first letter. So this is a bureau reinvestigation letter. This is what I consider a round one letter. Like a standard round one letter. Shouldn't be too much. Don't do too much. Don't. This is just a hey, I noticed something off on my credit report. Um, Please investigate the following accounts. And this is where you would list all of your collection accounts. I personally would not recommend if you're doing like general disputing like this, if you're not doing like dedicated factual disputing, if you're doing general disputing, I would personally recommend that you keep your charge offs and your collection separate. That's my personal recommendation. Not law by law or anything like that, but I've noticed it made a difference. So you just include your collections and that's it. Like you send it, whatever. And then this is your follow up letter. So don't send this follow up letter, the round two letter, until the full investigation from round one is complete, or at least 45 days have passed. Don't be in a rush. Don't be one of those people that's sending it right at 30 days. That's not gonna like they don't they don't. I know it's law. I know it's by law. They say they only get 30 days. The CFPB has given, this was at the beginning of COVID. It's literally been over 5 years and they have not removed this grace period that they've given the credit bureaus. So the timing is not enforced. So don't waste your time mailing them, hey, I emailed you 30 days ago. By law, it says this. Um, because by law, they were given a legal grace period, meaning they told them that they were overwhelmed and they could not process your disputes within 30 days. And legally, they don't have to no more. So don't waste your time sending letters challenging that. All it's going to do is that you're going to eventually be marked frivolous, and that's what you don't want. Okay, so it's a patient process. What you don't want to do is be calling them in the middle of your investigation, sending them your follow up letters too early, because again, every point of contact, whether that's by phone or by mail, that you send them if after your investigation has opened, they are legally able to add 15 more business days. No question, like that. You don't even have to be sending anything new. A point, you can literally be calling, and I've seen it happen so many times. You can literally call and say, hey, I'm just checking on the status of my investigation, or whatever. One or two things typically will happen. Either the rep on the phone will process your dispute on the phone, and that's what you don't want. You never ever want online disputes or on the phone disputes, not with accounts ever, because it immediately will fall under the EDP process, which is the expedited dispute process. Without getting full out into legalities, basically what that does is that removes your rights. That removes the most important rights when it comes to disputing. They don't have to do a full investigation anymore. They actually don't have to even send your disputes to the company. Like, they don't have to do that. The credit bureaus can say, well, we think that this is accurate. So they can just literally say, hey, this is verified. They don't have to give you a follow-up when you fall under the expedited dispute process. They don't have to notify you whenever for reinsertion. So if they remove the collection and it comes back, you have no rights protecting you from any of that, which is the whole point in disputing. Like I don't know if you guys know anything about dispute, but like that, those are the rights that you withdraw with the rights that you give up by literally online or on the phone disputes are quite literally the rights that will cause most of your disputes. I mean, most of your deletions if you were to do a full process, right? The They don't have to investigate the account. They don't have to investigate your account like that alone. Like just that right alone being stripped from you should be enough. They do an investigation is not required. And also, I forgot. Also, what's not required is I did say that they don't have to give you a reconsideration, which is true, but also they don't even have to prove they no longer have the burden of proof, which is again, I can't stress to you how big of a deal it is. I don't want to go into a rant right now. Please don't make me go into a rant because that this process drives me crazy. They don't even you remove the burden of proof from the freaking furnitures of the debt. Like that's legally speaking, that is the most vital. Yo, it's storming. I don't care what nobody say. It's storming. That is the most vital right that you have because the company can get sued because most of the times and not because most of the time but because the company because you have legal protections is why the companies won't do certain things, right? It is what stops them, prevents them from fully taking advantage of you because I mean they still taking advantage partially, but they know that you don't know that. So but because they still have that legal um entity over them that would it's not very hard to sue the collection agent. They get sued every day. I don't think it's a day that goes by that these collection agencies aren't in court with someone. With someone, I used to follow portfolio recovery lawsuits. I'm talking they literally had hundreds new every day. Most of them they lost. Whenever a person actually takes it all the way with them, like they lose most of them. They win. The ones that they win is typically default judgments. People just didn't show up at court. But if they are in violation of our rights, which a lot of times these collection agencies are, they just know you don't know or know you won't take it as far. Most consumer law attorneys will take your case for free because it's that easy. It's a free $1,500 just off the bat. I say all that to say, if you freaking give up the right to sue, what is the point of dispute? Is no point in this. Not even the CFPB can help you at that point. Like for real, for real. Which is why I will scream from the mountaintops. I've been screaming this since 2016. So it ain't nothing new. Stop disputing online. It please, I don't want to rant, guys. I really don't. Stop disputing online. And stop calling them people after you send a dispute. I don't know what do you think that they're gonna tell you? Like that's the thing. When you call the credit bureaus, you are talking to customer service reps that are most likely offshore. The dispute department doesn't have a phone for a reason. They said quit bothering them. Stop calling the credit bureaus when you send a dispute. What do you think that they're not going to give you any insider information? What they're trying to do now, they didn't used to do this, but they've gotten smart. They've gotten really smart. What they're now trying to do is to try to force you and talk you into disputing over the phone. Why? Because they want their dispute. They want as many disputes as possible to fall under EDP. They want you to dispute on Credit Karma. That's why they make it so easy for you to dispute on Credit Karma. For you to dispute over the phone, they try to make it. Oh well, we'll just go ahead and process. They will even. I've caught them in a lie where they would literally say, "Well, we can't see your dispute over the phone." The customer service reps are trained to lie, basically lie. Let me say on this part. Let me say allegedly, because y'all know the history with that. They are literally alleged. They are. I mean, not literally. They are allegedly trained to lie to consumers to say, "Hey, we don't see your dispute," just so they can say, "Well, you want me to go ahead and process it right now?" This part is allegedly. This part is allegedly. Okay, they will lie and say they don't even see your dispute so that so they can be like, hey, you want me to go ahead and process it over the phone? Why? Because they want to have you fall under the ED. They allegedly want to have you fall under the EDP process. That is a win. It is 99% of the times, if your dispute falls under EDP, they will, number one, make you think that they deleted it. That's another thing. That's another thing. When you are disputing on, when it falls under EDP, they're able to legally remove it. They are not removing it from your report really, but what they do is they hide it from you. They hide it from your consumer report while it's like while it's under investigation, and then you'll see like a month or a few months down the line they'll put it back on there. Why? Because you don't even have legal protections over reinsertion. Like they don't even have to prove anything to reinsert it, and that's the part that kills me. Because a lot of times, like I'll see all these videos on TikTok where it's like, I did this and I found that, and they'll get it removed, and then months later, these same people are circling back, and the account is back, and they have no protections over that, like literally none. I don't remember the freaking question. Oh, let me get back to this. So yes, this round two, okay, and then this is the round three ladder. That it looks. You might have to scroll in, or yeah, zoom in. Yeah, we discussed student loans. But yeah, please quit making it easy. Like taking the burden of proof off them is crazy. Like that's crazy. Because as it stands under the FCRA, under the FDCPA, the burden of proof is on the furnisher. The burden of proof is on the furnisher, and the only time it falls on the credit bureau is if it's a reporting error. A reporting error, right? So like we're entitled, all of us consumers were entitled to three things. We're entitled to more, but these are the three main things when it comes to disputing. We're entitled to an accurate credit report. We're entitled to a complete credit report, and then we're entitled to an up to date credit report. So we're entitled to accuracy, completeness, and up to dateness. Okay, those three things, while they may sound standard or not a big deal, 99.9% of the things that's wrong with our credit reports, 99.9 of the things that causes deletions outside of fraud falls under one of the three. Either the item is not complete, so the information that's included on a collection is not updated. Maybe it doesn't reflect the most recent balance. Maybe the status is incorrect, right? Or it's inaccurate. It's just not accurate. They're reporting the wrong balance. They're reporting two different credit bureaus are reporting different dates and different balances for the same account, right? That would be inaccurate or incomplete if they're missing information, right? Or up to date, right? So those three things, the burden of proof is on is on the furnisher. So whoever is furnishing that account to the credit bureaus has to prove that. A lot of times when it comes to dispute processes, because they know, of course, most people are just printing letters offline and not really sure what is actually considered verifiable proof, lawful proof. They'll just send things like a bill, and then the credit bureau, they're all in bed, allegedly they're all in bed together. So the credit bureaus, they don't care. Like as long as the company will send them anything, as long as the company say, hey, this is verified, the credit bureaus are going to send you a letter saying, hey, we investigated this account and it's verified. That's going to happen probably like your first three rounds. However, whenever you start to push the issue specifically as the rounds go by, then you are more likely to get an account removed if you obviously know how to dispute, if you know how to properly follow up, like not moving so impulsively and sending multiple. One of the biggest mistakes I would say that people make when it comes to DIY is their challenges are not like they don't mesh. It's like they'll challenge, for example, let's just take a collection, right? Let's say you send a dispute letter to challenge a collection account. Maybe you're challenging you let's just say you just asking them for an investigation, right? If they come back and say, hey, this is verified, okay, cool. Your follow-up letter, now you challenging and now you're saying maybe the account is not yours. Then it's very easy for the credit bureaus to prove that an account is yours. So that's never a good dispute unless it's actually true fraud. Never, like you wasting your time if you are saying that the account is not yours. Like don't. There's no reason to even dispute at that point. So maybe you change the dispute reason to that, and then they say, nope, we validated this account. Okay. Then your third round, you challenging something like you're not following up on rounds. Like every round is essentially like a new challenge. which is essentially like you just in round one repeatedly. You're sending multiple letters, but you're still in round one because you're not actually following up on anything. Like you're not following up on your previous dispute. Like your dispute process, the process is because every round should be a continuation of the previous round. Like you don't it, especially if something is wrong, like if there's a reporting error, if you're challenging something specifically, just because the credit bureau said that it's verified don't mean that it's actually verified. Or even if they say it's validated, the reason why we're granted under the FCRA. If you look at section 611 under the FCRA, it says that we have the right to dispute. The companies have to make it reasonable and easy for us to dispute. But also, if you continue to go down to the subsections of section 611, it'll tell you as a consumer, we have the right for us to follow up, right? Like we have we can request a reinvestigation. But not only that, keep reading, right? Like that's like round two. Round three, it also says that we're able to ask for specifics. Specifics like who, like to verify the accuracy of the investigation. Like we can question the investigation. When you don't question the investigation, then it just goes unchecked. And whatever you don't check with the credit bureaus, then they're never going to be wrong for, even if it's inaccurate, right? Even the FCRA states that, like I said, we're entitled to a complete credit report. We're entitled to an accurate credit report, and we're entitled to an up to date credit report. We all get those three rights. The problem, I guess, with that is if you as a consumer don't call it out, the credit bureaus are never going to be in violation. It's not even legally considered a violation unless you have made them aware that they're wrong and they refuse to correct it. So if you don't call it out, if you never call it out, even if they are knowingly reporting out of date information or inaccurate information, unless you call them out as a consumer, they're not wrong ever. And that's the thing. And the law protects them in that way. That which is why it's so important that when you are disputing, you know how, like, you know what you are disputing. And I'm not saying to hire an expert. Like, no, I'm not telling you to waste your money to hire somebody to repair your credit. No, no, no. Just make sure that, even if you do purchase somebody's letters or download letters from online, make sure that you are following up. Your second round is not a second round if it's an entire new entire new dispute. Like, follow up. I am not accepting what you said. Why? Because I have a right to not accept. I have a right to further question your investigation because of XYZ. You start enacting your rights when you are following up and wording these things properly. If they, for example, and I'm just thinking of some things that's coming to my head, right? I'm gonna do a dedicated dispute live because I haven't done one of them in a long time where I can show you guys the letters. But um another mistake that I see people, what was I just gonna say? Dang it. I was just gonna say, oof, I hate when something leaves my mind. I'm gonna think of it because it's important because I actually just seen it the other day. Oof. What was the specific example I thought of? Um, I'm gonna think of it again. Dang it, I hate that because it was very relevant because I see it happen a lot. That's annoying. You going to? Yeah, yeah. My next live gonna be about this too because I haven't did one in probably like 2 years. So yeah, let me. I gotta put together the thing. Well, just revamp an old presentation. I hate that I can't remember what I was just about to say because it was honestly so relevant because I see it so much. What the freak was it? Oh, um, it'd be hard explaining this without showing you guys, but I'm gonna do my best without giving any context, right? Whenever you are disputing, okay, I just thought of a good example. One of the telltale signs that your dispute is being coded wrong. No, whoever that is, keep trying to join the line. One of the telltale indications that your disputes are not being properly processed by the credit bureaus, and mind you, I'm not talking about, of course, of people who are disputing online or disputing on the phone. I'm talking about like a real dispute process, okay? If you have not denied the ownership of the account, which again, I'm gonna repeat it, never deny the ownership of the account unless it's true fraud, because you're wasting your time and you're making it way easier for them, right? So if you have not denied the ownership of the account, meaning, hey, this account, meaning you did not say this account is not mine, this account doesn't belong to me, this account belongs to an X, this account belongs to X, Y, and Z. If you have not denied the ownership of the account and they send you your dispute results, and it has the wording. Oh, I wish I could find a picture, but it has the wording of some form or fashion that states uh your dispute, your account, or we have completed your dispute. They send you your dispute results and they say something like we have completed your dispute and we have determined that the account belongs to you. Or they'll say like we have determined that we have verified that the account is yours. Some form or fashion where you have not denied the ownership of this account. Your dispute was about the balance, or your dispute was just asking them for an investigation. But they specifically word the dispute results something in terms of them verifying that the account belongs to you. TransUnion, or yeah, is that TransUnion or Experian? I want to say TransUnion. They're really bad with this. Ooh, I think it's Experian. Don't I can't remember if it's TransUnion or Experian, but if they word it, if their response is anything along the lines of we verified that this account belongs to you, I want to say Experian, but we verified this account belongs to you and you did not challenge the ownership of that account, that is a 99% indication that they did not process that. They did not conduct a investigation for the accuracy of the account. The only thing that they verify is the ownership, which, if I haven't made that clear, if I haven't made that part clear enough, whenever you deny ownership, that's the easiest thing for the credit bureaus to prove. They love when you deny ownership. They love it. They love when you say this account is not mine. This is why 8 of the 12 reasons that Credit Karma gives you to dispute is some form of some form of fashion of you denying the account. You denying the ownership. They will literally give you 12. They'll make it seem like it's 12 different dispute reasons, but if you read them, 8 out of the 12 is going to be this account doesn't belong to me. This account is an aunt. This account belongs to a relative. I don't recognize this account. They gonna slice it in 20 different ways of basically getting you to commit to this account is not yours. And again, they're gonna give you multiple options to literally say this account is not yours. The second that you do that, that's because y'all know, number one, the credit bureau. Um, when you deny ownership of the account, child, that is, again, that's the easiest dispute for them, because it is very easy to prove that the account belongs to you. Number one, the burden of proof is not that is not high for the credit bureaus to prove that an account is yours. All they got to do is say that your last name, your the first initial of your name and your last name matched, and a zip code. They don't even have to have the right address. A collection agency don't even have to have your full address to verify that it is you. So it literally does, like, that is the easiest dispute for them. That is the easiest dispute. So you never want to give them an easy win like that. So whenever you are not denying the ownership of the account, and then their reply to you is we verify that this account belongs to you, I'm sorry. So that means you did not fully investigate this account. You only investigated that it belonged to me. I'm not disputing the ownership of the account. That's not what I'm disputing. I actually am not denying that this account belongs to me at all. I am denying the accuracy on the account. So when they do that, your follow up, instead of just moving on to the next thing, your follow up should be, um, I disputed this, whatever you disputed. I asked for I requested an investigation of the account. I see I see per your response that you verified that the account belongs to me. That's great to know. However, that was not what I was disputing. That was not what I was disputing. So don't try to just give me a blanket validation saying that the account belongs to me when that's not what I was disputing. That's not even in question. So what they will continue to do this. I'm telling you, if you don't call them out, they will continue to try to do that, because again, they know most consumers like don't know like the different legalities of the law. Like most casual consumers don't. I wouldn't know it if I didn't have to study it. So it's not even like, it's not common knowledge. You're not even you. Of course you don't know. Who would, right? And they know that they take full advantage of you not knowing that, and they will do that repeatedly. And then what they'll do again, because they always try to like test to see how much you know, essentially, right? And so another thing that they'll do, another thing that I see them doing is sending you like that frivolous letter. Now, mind you, sometimes we can be frivolous. Sometimes we can be frivolous. Like if you're constantly sending the same letter, no, you again follow up. It's a continuation. If you was having a conversation with somebody, if you was in a courtroom, you wouldn't keep repeating to the judge your last line. Like if the judge say like, "Why were you speeding? Why were you doing 15 or 35?" You wouldn't say, "Well, judge, I was in a rush to get here," and then they ask you another question that is unrelated to what you just said, and you just continue to repeat it, right? Like that's a very dramatic example, but the point is you wouldn't continue to repeat the same thing. You like a look at it like a conversation, right? Um, and your round two should be a response to whatever they send you, a response, like like actually make it seem like a response. Like for example, if you don't know where to start with your dispute process, that's why I put it on the screen. If you don't know where to start, an easy, quick way to start is to say, your first round should be just a reinvestigation or investigation request. Is two sentences. Hey, I recently looked at a copy of my credit report and noticed several incorrect accounts. I feel that these accounts are adversely affecting my credit, and it is my understanding that you will investigate the items for me to ensure accuracy. And then here are the items that I'm asking you to verify. And you would just list up to 10 accounts, 10 collections, right? Super easy. And then at the end, you close it out with, after the investigation is complete, please send me the results. You notice you didn't you didn't accuse them of anything. You didn't challenge anything specific. You simply just said, "Hey, I was looking at my you were saying like, hey, I was looking at my credit report, noticed some things off, right? And I want you to investigate it because it is my understanding. You want to sound like a casual consumer. It is my understanding that you, right? You're putting the burden on them in a casual manner. It is my understanding that you will investigate and ensure accuracy, right? Because that's the whole goal of, or that's the whole job of the credit bureaus. They are there to ensure accuracy. They are there to report accurate information. So whatever the company sends to them to report on your credit report, they are supposed to be there to ensure that it's accurate, right? So you want to place the ball in their court with your first letter. If you don't have a hard dispute to send, hey, looking at a copy of my credit report, notice some things that's off. You notice I didn't state what was off. I just said notice something that might be accurate. Sometimes I say notice something that look a little funny. Like I literally will talk very casual. Looking at my recently looked at a copy of my credit report. I noticed some things that looked off to me, right? But you're not sure. And so it is my understanding that you will investigate these items to ensure that they are accurate. So here are the items that are in question. After you investigate it, please send me the results, right? Something so casual like that. First letter. Cool. Let them do their investigation. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're going to say, hey, we verified your account. It's accurate. You almost always want to expect that they are going to just reply with it. It's just what they do. Okay. So then your second round, notice how the language is a sudden shift in the second round, but not all the way off the rails. An example of a second round letter after they have verified your first round dispute. After I'm wait till my dog finish working. I think he's working at the wind. That wind is going really hard. So I'm trying to hurry up so it won't cut off because this power grid is so fragile. Oh, so okay. So let's just say they verified your first round. We on the second round. A great follow up is always after a verification. You literally start off by saying, I disagree with the results of your investigation. Or I received a copy of the results that you sent. I appreciate you for investigating it, but I disagree. You want to make sure that your language says explicitly that you disagree with the investigation. Why? That language is important because that language is straight out of the FCRA. It says that the law says, section 611, I believe it's subsection C, which is if the consumer disagrees with the results of an investigation, they are able to XYZ. So I have found that it does make a difference when I use the terminology I disagree. Again, so I explicitly state I am in disagreement with the items listed below, or I'm in disagreement with the investigation. Even after, so the wording on the screen says, I'll just read it. I'm in disagreement with the items listed below, which still appear on my credit report, even after your investigation, right? So I want to be clear that I disagree with the investigation that was completed. That's really, you can say that there's a thousand ways you can say that. But what you want to start off with is I disagree with your investigation, okay? And then you want to say I would like these items immediately reinvestigated. So you disagree with their, you tell them that you disagree with their previous investigation. You want it to be very clear that this is a follow-up and not a first round letter. So I disagree with the investigation that you conducted. I um and I would like you to reinvestigate. It's important that you say reinvestigate because that's how the law states it, right? So I immediately am requesting you to reinvestigate these items. These inaccuracies are highly injurious to my credit rating. You don't have to include necessarily that third line, but I typically kind of will put I disagree with the investigation that you conducted, and I am requesting a reinvestigation, right? And then you'll list the same accounts that you listed on round one. Something that I noticed that makes a difference is try to, as much as you can, list them in the same order that you had them at on your round one letter. The only exception is if an account was removed as a result of your round one. If you listed five accounts and maybe one or two accounts were removed, you obviously would not include the accounts that was deleted, but you would still keep it in the same order that you had previously, just to keep a continuation of your investigation. Okay. Do not include any new investigate and new. Do not include any new collections on your follow up letter. That's another mistake that a lot of people make. Do not be in round two. Like, do not have your round two or your disagreement letter include accounts that you haven't investigated in round one, because then you're starting over the entire investigation and investigation process for nothing. Make sure that you include the same collections. If you, let's just say, had a new collection pop up between that time, that needs to go on its own letter. It does not need to go on the follow up letter because you're messing up the entire process. Um, so the only additional thing that I include for round two is at the bottom. I, for the first time, slightly mention the law, and I'll just say, like, according to the FCRA, um, section 611, subsection A through D. I just include all of them. And I'll say, please provide the names and the addresses of the businesses in each individual with whom you verify the above to, so that I may follow up. Make sure that when you are requesting the name, any specifics, any of the names, the addresses of the people that they verify the accounts with, make sure that you say so that you can follow up. Why is that important? Why it shouldn't matter, but why is that important? Because the law states that if the consumer disagrees with the investigation and they request um that they are entitled to request the specific names of the entities or businesses in which the account was verified to, so that they can ensure so that they may ensure accuracy, right? So technically, the only reason why a company or the credit bureau is supposed to send us that information is because so that we can follow up. So if you aren't explicitly saying so that I can follow up, like if you're not making it seem as though I just want to, at this point, you're still a casual consumer. I just want to make sure that whatever you're reporting is accurate. And, I want to contact the company so that I can potentially like pay them back, right? You don't got to obviously put all this, but I'm just saying you still want to make it seem like you are essentially like confused. Like, I thank you for investigating, right? Thank you for investigating my account. I disagree. I disagree. And I'm also requesting a reinvestigation. But so that I can also follow up, please include the names and the business addresses of each individual. Make sure you say each individual because they'll just give you the company address, and that's not what we want. Uh, give me the names of everybody who you verified it through. That's so important. Why? Because the credit bureaus are not they're not, again, they're not conducting your rightful investigation. They don't actually follow the law. Surprise, they don't. Allegedly, they don't actually follow the law, and they're not talking to anyone. What they do is they actually just send it through eOscar. They just send it through a automated system through eOscar, and it's essentially like computers talking to one another. They've been doing AI for a couple of years before it was like publicly available to us. They don't talk to anyone. So it's important that you request the names of anyone Not because you want them to send it to you, because they're not gonna send it to you, sis. Okay, don't get confused. Don't think these letters are magic. Like, no, they're still not going to follow the law. Not even my letters are going to make them follow the law. But that's good. That's cool. You play their game. You play their game. I'm team play the game and be a willful player until you then can go off. Not go off, but legally. So, the reason why you want to do things in this order is because if you do sue, you never want to withdraw your right to sue ever. So you want to make sure that you are following the law. All we're doing at this point is going straight down section 611. People will say, like, send a 611 letter. That's true. However, it's not complete. The problem with that is the most 611 letters that I've seen, it literally challenges all sections at one time. And it's just like that's not, you kind of you kind of really, you kind of give them an easy win when you do that, because there's not a proper dispute process. Now you unveiled your entire hand, your entire deck, and now they can respond and they can just say you're frivolous, right? Because all you what are you going to do next? The next round, you're just going to send some variation of the same dispute. Therefore, now what they're going to do? Legally mark you frivolous. I'm telling you, they do it. I've been dealing with them since 2016, so like they do. It's the same tricks all over. So don't do that. You go section by section, and that allow that to be your rounds, because eventually what happens is, after letters reach, it used to be like around that 4 or 5 ish round, then you're forcing human interaction, you're forcing human verification. If the system is not being able to verify, and they can't legally mark you frivolous, they hate it, because now the humans actually I say the humans as if I'm not a human, but it forces it to be verified by a human, right? The computers is what auto verifies us, and that's what we hate. Like that, those are the worst, because they're gonna do is just auto verify. They're gonna say, oh, this validated, oh, whatever. They're gonna take whatever the company says by hand. But if you force it to a human, then you also um you obviously improve you improve your deletion rate, right? You're more likely to get a deletion removed or removal when it comes to dealing with a human. But also, they understand that now it can get legal. It can get legal, and the ball is still in your court, because you followed the law. You followed the law. You did exactly what the FCRA told you to do, and you brought it to their attention that they're wrong. And if they decide to continue to be in error after you've notified them, then you legally have grounds to sue them. The problem is, y'all try to go to the CFPB or try to sue them way too prematurely. You don't have a case. You don't have a case, because the credit bureaus or even furnishers violating your rights is not enough. Like, that's not enough to win a lawsuit, because they don't have, like, the violation does not actually incur until you've notified them repeatedly and you've given them a chance to correct it, and they refuse to. That's the part that people miss. You have to give them a chance to correct it, and they have to refuse in order to be in violation. It's stupid, but is it actually made for a consumer? So, anyways, I'm tired of talking. So this is the last round. This is the round. I'll do 4 rounds. So we in round 3. All right. So they verified it again after all your hard work. They verified it again, because they're gonna do it every time. Okay, they're gonna do it every time. So don't even get your panties in a bunch. I'm telling you what to expect. They're going to verify it. Okay. People who only send 2 rounds and think and get frustrated with the process and think that that's it, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Most deletions happen after rounds 4. Like, I never even expect deletions in the early rounds, because I know that though I just kind of look at those as procedural rounds. Obviously, you do. A lot of people get deletions in those rounds. And if you get a deletion, great. Like, I more so consider those luck, because it's not the norm. It's just not. It's not the norm. See them all the time, get them all the time. However, those are not the standard, because I understand that most deletions, and especially those hard hitting accounts, like the low fruit will fall off fast. But like those hard hitting accounts, oh, you can go rounds. You can go rounds. So charge offs and stuff, just expect that you can go rounds. But anyways, the third letter is a method of verification letter. Stop sending a method of verification letter first, please, please, please. They actually can refuse a method of verification letter if you send it first. Stop sending a method of verification letter first. Like, what are they? What method are they verifying if they haven't already disputed the account? You know what I'm saying? The whole point of method of verification, it's always used wrong. The whole point of method of verification is so the credit bureaus prove their method of verification. Okay, so you gotta give them a chance to verify the account before you inquire about their method. But anyways, so round three and not a round before, not a round before, not even a round two. Not my pillow keep falling. Whatever. Round three is method of verification. Okay. Now the way I personally uh position method of verification, it's on the screen. I don't want to have to read this whole letter, but I'll just tell you the laws that govern it. So with method of verification, the FCRA states that if a consumer is still in disagreement with the investigation, with the request, right, rounds one and round two, um, then the consumer has the right to request the method of verification. Now, I'm gonna remind you in round two, remember we asked about the specific person, the specific company, the address, and the individual in which the credit bureaus verified the information through, right? In round two. The reason why I asked that is because it's a setup for method of verification. Why? Because you've already requested the information and because they refuse, because I'm telling you they're not going to send it to you. Remember I said that? I said that for a reason. They're not going to send it to you. Okay. So by the time you get to round three and you get to method of verification, now you are able to get a lot more legal. The first two letters was real light, was real cute, was real. I don't know what I'm talking about. I almost be wanting them to think I'm dumb the first rounds. Because I want them to think that I don't know my rights. Like, please just continue to pass this through, continue to verify this, please. Why? Because I'm just setting you up. I'm just setting you up because listen, on round three, I'm going to inquire more specifically about your method of verification. So here's I'll read the letter, and if you go to YouTube to screenshot, anyways. So this is round three. So it says I've received notice that you verify certain items on my credit report from the following companies, and then you'll list your collections that you're challenging. Okay. Please tell me how you did it. Who did you talk to? At who did you talk to at the original credit grantor? Did you write them? Was it a UDF form, or was it through electronic automatic dispute verification? So all of that is, was it through eOscar? Or did you actually speak to a person? Okay, cool. Um, Also, did you contact them at the same address and phone number that's listed on my report? Why is that important? Why? Because the FCRA states that whatever contact information that the credit bureau, whatever means or method that the credit bureaus use to contact the furnisher should be made available to you. So it should match the address and the phone number that's on our credit report. That's the whole reason why that contact information is on our credit report, so we can contact them, right? Now, if the credit bureaus are using eOscar, if the credit bureaus are using the UDF form, it was going crazy. Anyways, if the credit bureaus are using electronic methods of disputing, then obviously they are contacting them through a method that is not made available to us. That's important, right? Because if you're claiming that you verify these accounts, you have not yet turned over the person that you are verifying these accounts through, or giving me any specific information. How am I to trust your investigation? I don't have to just trust your investigation, because I have rights to deny your investigation. And if I, as a consumer, have a reasonable way that I can invalidate your investigation, then literally you can invalidate the entire investigation. But it has to be throughout a process, right? So where was we at? Oh, okay. I'm gonna get off her in a little bit. I'm gonna finish this and get off her because child, it seems like it's throwing down outside. But anyways, did you contact them at the same address and phone number listed on my report? The FCRA says that you have to tell me this within 15 days, because it also says that. So after you get to method of verification, if you have given them their time and you haven't, done the most and called them and all of that, by rounds three, they only get 15 days to give you method of verification. They only get 15 days. The grace period that the CFPB gave them for the 30 days, it does not apply to this. Okay. That's important. Okay. So the FCRA states that you only have 15 days to tell me this. Why? Because I've already asked you and you didn't give it to me. I've already asked you to do it and you refused. So now you don't get the grace of getting 50 or of getting 30 days. You get 15. Um, and then I also add, don't provide a generic response of how you use the various methods. I can care less. At this point, I can care less. I need specifics. Tell me exactly how you verified them and include the full name of the person that you spoke with, because that's my right to know. And if they only have a ID, employee number, my bad, they legally can give you that, right? Also, what is the date of commencement of delinquency, which is just the date of first delinquency? The original creditor is required to give that to you. So when is that, and when will this trade line be past the reporting time frame? Don't provide the generic 7 years response. I am aware of that. Tell me specifically when these accounts allegedly became delinquent, and specifically when they will be removed. That's, I always add that because why? Most collection agencies don't actually know the date of first delinquency. They'll guess it, or they'll assume the month that they obtained the debt is what they will list as the date of first delinquency. It's almost always wrong. I'm telling you, it is almost always wrong. So if you are dealing with a collection, if it's a third party collection agency, always challenge that. And don't say date of first delinquency, because they, again, their date of first delinquency will typically always be the date that the collection agency received the account, or when they bought the account. Don't say that. Say the date of commencement. Why? Because that date is can't be confused. Like they actually, it actually has to match the original creditor's records. Yeah, let me hear you up, because child, this, I don't know what's going on outside. And then y'all, this fourth letter is so long. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Just, I'm gonna just say go to YouTube to screenshot it. Because the fourth round, if they verified after this, then I go directly to the creditor. I stop. Well, I don't stop talking to the credit bureaus, but I go directly to the creditor. Um, and I would not I would not recommend that anyone does this prior to at least You need at least 3 rounds with the credit bureaus before you do this. But y'all gonna have to go read that. Yeah, because it's going down. So I can hear it through my window. All right. So yes, go on YouTube to see the last letter, which is, like I said, a direct to creditor letter. Let me put it back up just for 10 seconds so y'all can screenshot it. My YouTube is Shonda. It should be Shonda Martin. I'm sure you could just search Shonda Martin to come up. I'm having the hardest time to get my old address removed. Is it connected to an account on your credit report? It probably is. It probably is. Do you have the person? A lot of people ask my person, but the rain is loud. Okay, so I'm not tripping. Cause listen, my filming room is, I have the sound panels, whatever, the noise cancellation panels on my window. So it's like I can hear, I can't see anything and I can hear it slightly. But what I do hear is loud. And I normally don't hear a lot of thunderstorms in this room because of that. So if I can hear it, if I can hear the wind, I already know it's going crazy out there. So I say, yeah, I'm about to I need to be charging my phone. I be feeling like this power grid, ever since moving to Texas, I've never had my power go out from storms so much. Like, it just seems very fragile. It was on 13. Lord help us. Did it? Oh, y'all, that was my phone. Hold on. All right. Yes. Yeah, girl. Yeah. I hope it's not no tornado. I hate tornadoes at night. I just hate it. Anyways, how do you feel about balance transfers to pay down balances? I'm not opposed to it. I mean, because I understand it. Just get a card that is made for balance transfers, because typically they'll give you like 18 months to pay it before they tack interest on it. That's the whole point. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. Round five. I'm gonna do. Listen, yeah, I'm gonna do a full dispute webinar, collection dispute webinar. I mean, not just collections, but full dispute webinar. I'm surprised my kids ain't coming here. Are they asleep? The weather app. I don't know. They don't. It don't. On the weather app, it's just say up to 50 miles per hour. But like, I kind of feel like it sounds worse than that. But maybe I'm. All right, guys. So I'm gonna conclude this for tonight because I gotta see what's going on. And yeah, I'm gonna conclude it for tonight. I will, yeah. So I'll do the next webinar. I'll do is about disputes, advanced disputes. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but something about disputes. Okay. We was on here a good time. So again, the replay is available on YouTube. So go to, if you want to watch the full replay, go to Shonda Martin. Is that my YouTube name, y'all? Yeah, just search Shonda Martin. It'll be on there. And the live is titled "Ask Me Anything About Credit," and you'll see it. Go under the live video tab, and it should be there. Um, yeah. So I am going to conclude this first time. I'm gonna actually try. My kids does not have school tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to come back live. I'm most likely can come back live tomorrow, and we'll just do a Q&A or continue this conversation. All right. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing night. But I'm out. All right. I'm trying to